everybody. How you doing? I'm back from vacation. What do you know? What a surprise. What a pleasant surprise. Yeah, back from Burning Board, and I took overhead video of all my games from Burning Board, so we are gonna watch them together, and we are going to, do all the things. And what I just realized is maybe I should, nah, this is fine. You know what? I took some time to set this up today, and all of a sudden I'm realizing something else I should have done. Or could have done, I should say. And that is have, like, just a static background image if I need it. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I think we should just dive in. So I've got my magic stones set up here. Let's make sure they're still in the right place here. Yeah. So I can put stones on the video if I really need to. Okay, great. Cool. So I guess let's just dive into this first game here. Have some fun. I know it's been a while since I've streamed, but I was on vacation, and I deserve it. I deserve it. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's do it up. So far, pretty normal. I am white here, so I'm gonna play my dual 3/3s. I like it. And this is the first game of the tournament, so honestly, I was nervous. Playing a shodan. And, yeah. They played a 3/3, which was really surprising, actually, for me. But it was okay. So far, the game is moving pretty quickly. But you would kind of expect that in the opening of the game, right? You would expect that. There's gonna be a little bit of camera wiggle and shake here and there, as we had, like, big old fans, so I tried to get rid of most of the fan noise, but it's still there. Still there. And we had big old fans blowing right on the camera, and I didn't have a good way to set up my nicer microphone. And of course, I didn't put up any lights or anything, so this is just the lighting in the room. So there's some pretty dark shadows and stuff on the video, but what do you do, right? What do you do? That's okay. So far so good. Like, I decided to really work with this corner. I wanted to approach from this side and build a wall this way, and they're giving me what I want, right? So far it's just Joseki, right? Everybody's playing their Joseki. Joseki fun for Joseki times. Oh, let me get the mouse off the screen there. Okay. I extend. So at this point, my opponent actually deviates from Joseki right after this. So they're supposed to just drop down here. But they don't. They don't, if I recall. And I was happy about that because it gave me the opportunity to Tanuki. So normally, black drops, and white plays this way, and then black Tanukis. So that's what normally happens. That's what I expected to happen. Oh, I didn't realize just how much wiggle there was on the camera. Wow. So yeah, they played up instead of down, which is actually a Joseki mistake. So that actually removes some of the Aji in this area for white. So normally black would drop down, so there'd be a bunch of Aji, especially around like G17. Black played up, so I felt pretty good about that. It's a sexy kind of wiggle. Thanks, the real Brapple. You just, it's a real, it's it's a real space in a real game, right? So I played away. I'm not convinced that this is the best. Like, maybe after this, I should have played, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe in this area instead. I think that might have been more optimal with my wall over here. But taking the larger side is reasonable too, so, whatever. Whatever. Like it's not an end of the world thing, but I do think this lets black approach here. I kept having to remind my opponent to use their clock. Yeah, so black splitting here is a good idea. It's a good idea. They have two spaces either direction, and I think I was okay with that. But now that I see it, I think these two stones should be reversed. I really do. So, like it's not an end of the world error, but it is an error, unforced error, as they say. So yeah, my expectation is that I would take Sente from the sequence. Or black expanded really far here. I think black should have just done a two space. Two space would have been reasonable. I still would have responded this way, and then they would have had less shape issues in the area. So I think this is an overplay by black, just a little overplay. And I didn't feel like I really needed to dive in right away. Like, I didn't need to do this right away, right? That just created too much chaos. So my thinking was just to take the side here. And then they're gonna have to worry about this the whole game. Oh, there I went. I refused to play until they hit their button. Because I'm like, I'll let them run their time down. Why not? This is like the third or fourth time I reminded them to use their clock, so... Every time they forgot, I waited longer to tell them. Yep. So with this sequence, I kind of expected them to approach here now, but no, they played a really slow move. So this move is like kind of its own punishment, right? This black move here is just kind of its own punishment because there's so many larger points on the board, and they were so worried about this top group, you know, because they extended too far that they had to play there. Adnus already took a look at these games, and so my next move he felt was pretty questionable. He felt my next move should really be a B5, which I think he's right. So I was looking at this, and I was kind of counting spaces, and I determined that this side was more important, the left side. But I didn't want to plunk a stone in the middle. That felt wrong. Oh, I'm wrong. Okay, I took the enclosure. That's fine, too. It's fine. It's very big. I figured if they took the small move, then I could take the big one. Oh, for some reason I thought I played over here now. A little later. A little later. I think my opponent plays one more slow move. And then I invade the left. Because I have time to. I guess enclosing the corner makes sense. It's big. Oof, that's super gross. Super gross. I feel like this move should be here for black. Should be high. The low feels wrong somehow. So I just pincered them tight. They're gonna slide shenanigans, but I'm fine over here. Is how I felt. What's up, Phidias? This is a tournament game I played. This was the first round of the Burning Board tournament. Last week, last Wednesday. And just so you guys know, I won first in Section A. That's the Dawn section. And third overall in the tournament. Third overall with a game record of 4-2. So I'm pretty proud. Pretty proud. I've got a little... I don't know if you can see it. Let me... If... Oh no. Oops. Oh, you can't see the trophy there, but... Oops. What rank is your opponent? 1 Dan. 1 Dan. Oh, I should put that on there, huh? So I'm playing as a shodan, and my opponent is a 1 Dan. Yeah, let me fix that rank. So now, oh, this result for black looks terrible. You won the globe on that. Here, why don't I just grab my trophy? That would make sense, right? There we go. Got a little trophy here. Burning Board 2022, first place. I'm a champion. Okay, this attach is what I was talking about earlier. So, Black played this slow move because they're desperate to live over here. And I'm like, I should invade the left. But Oddness was telling me I should have started over here instead. Congrats, thanks, Phidias. I should have started over here instead. So, yeah, that's a thing. And then when I played here, Black should have just dropped down instead of this Hane. So this Hane actually helped me. But yeah, let me fix those names there. Oh, where is it? Not fix them, but add a rank. Oh, perfect. And Black. And let's just move this over then. Something like this? That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. I was trying it out. I should have played either B4 or B5. And I know that. I know that. I do know it. Why did I do that? You don't get to see each other's time, sort of. So you see the big white button. Next to it is a little tiny black button. If you press that, you can see your opponent's time. And it's the same on the other side. Next to the big black button is a little white button. If my opponent presses a little white button, they can see my time. I didn't know that till our tournament director told us before the second game. So yeah, now I'm pleased as punch with this result in the lower left. It's got to be said. Pleased as punch. And even better now that they didn't Hane. Because I could just, you know, they dropped, so I can just not that one. They dropped, so I can just extend, right? Yeah. So yeah, I feel good about this result from this attach. I just live. It's fantastic. Woohoo! I think I played something a little sus here too. Like, I didn't want to just drop down because then I expected Black to like play here. So instead, I treated the one stone lightly and extended. And I think this actually makes more sense than dropping down. This is like an attach under the enclosure and they just backed off weird. Exactly. Exactly. And then Black just loves the slow moves. Did I jump out or did I completely ignore? I feel like I might have ignored. No, I jumped out. Okay. That's reasonable. Just to make sure I live over there. Black's playing pretty quick too. We both are. We both are. But yeah, at this point in the game, like, I have this huge lower right corner. I have a decent side here, a little bit here, decent here. And Black has small group, small weak group, decent corner, and a question mark on the board. So I'm feeling great. Yep, 1 hour main time, 5 by 30 seconds. So I'd both racing through this opening then. Wow, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like he used 10 minutes and I used 6 minutes, it looks like. I'm embarrassed to say that I used in all my games, I probably used under half the no, all except one. I used under half the time my opponents used. I'm embarrassed to say that. My goal was to use as much time as my opponents. Hey CQ, this is my first Burning Board game last week at the Burning Board Go tournament in North Carolina. So we're just watching it in real time and talking about the game as we go. Yeah, I decided the shape was pretty weak, so I decided to shoulder hit it and build this area, so it kind of threatens this group while building my own potential here. So it seemed like a reasonable thing to do. I actually took some time thinking about it, where to play. This turn is pretty big here, and then there's a couple things up here, like this kind of lean was pretty big too. But I felt like this was gonna do the most for me at the time. So yeah, extending here, I was annoyed that they saw that that threatened to cut this stone off. But this, again, feels like a slow move. And there's still an invasion point here. And they totally Tanuki'd this, which I was really surprised at. So it seems like after this, I might turn here. Oh, no, okay. I was trying to be patient. I remember. I usually find when playing a full game in a tournament, I often spend the hour and maybe only have the last few endgames in Biomi. Wow, Phidias. I'm not able to do that. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that's just not a thing I'm really able to do. Okay, so yeah, I took this big lean to build this area and start to threaten this area as well. This turn, I'm not sure what it did. So it seems like they're trying to limit this area, but... And I guess it did do a lot of things. I expected them to just lean and push here, which would make sense, right? And then attack this group. But if I recall, they did something totally other. But since you have that much time, why not walk around somewhere? I know, I know. I tried to. I tried to get up and move around and like take my time. I don't know. Every time they moved, I was like, "Oh, I got to make a move as soon as possible." There's some weird urgency within me. I'm not sure what that's all about. The turn on the right side now for white. Yeah. So you mean that turn? Yeah, that's really big. It's really big as well. So what would I do as black here? Hey, what's up? I am Recursive. Welcome, welcome. Great meeting you at Burning Board this weekend. Yeah. What's up? Good to meet you as well. Tom M, yes. So yeah, this black move was really curious to me. I didn't see a way for them to really benefit from this. But they had a plan, right? So I just extended and kind of like, okay, run away then. And they're trying to cut me. But the cut doesn't really work here. Enjoying the post-game analysis of my own games too. Yeah. Nice. But now the fight starts, and this becomes a very exciting fight. So I acknowledge that I took some risks in this area. And I took even bigger risks later in the game. But I thought I'd be okay. I thought I'd be okay with just this extension to make eye space here, or connect out on this area here. Yep, I video recorded all of my games. That's correct. And we're just gonna probably look at the first 3 games today and the last 3 games tomorrow, I think. That's my current plan. So yeah, now I expected something like this. And then like this. And then like this. And they have to jump out again. And then all of a sudden, like, we can just, like, cap here. And I feel good, right? That's kind of what I was expecting. Didn't quite go that way, though. I mean, they played the same first move, right? But I think they Haned here right away, if I recall. And that created some interesting problems for me. Because if I do this, I was thinking that this didn't work so great for me, but actually this works just fine. That would have worked just fine. So they can't really extend. They have to take this one first, right? And then keep pushing, which I think is what happened, honestly. That seems right. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, I think they were expecting me just to Hane here, so they could make shape. Something like this. Something really weak from white, maybe. But no, we went for the cut. Of course. Of course we did. Yeah. Of course we did. So yeah, now they have to push. Because they're short on liberties, right? With this squeeze over here. And I can extend like all day. I can extend like all day after this. And be totally fine. I think the game went something like this, if I recall. But yeah, I kept reading, if they extend, can I get out of there? And I was pretty confident I could. Pretty confident that I could. So yeah, I'm just like, I can extend all day. Let's keep doing this. This is good for me. Because all they get here is Dame, and then I'm starting to build this area here, potentially. Plus, we're sealing in this weak group that isn't locally alive. So I'm like, oh, this is wonderful, wonderful. Please keep pushing me from behind. As I like to say on this channel, push me from behind like one of your French girls. I was also considering, like, if they keep coming out, I can actually turn here in, like, a moderate Sente and build this area more. So I really did feel like this had nothing but benefits for me. So yeah, here's the come out. And what I was reading is this kind of jump. And if they go this way, like, I can get out. And then, what was the other thing? They could do this type of thing. And this one was really interesting because you got to read out the push, the block, the push, the block, the Atari connects, Atari extend, and then we can Atari push. They can't block, they have to extend, and then we capture the 2 stones, right? So that was my plan. Um, so yeah, I didn't see a way they could reasonably block me in. This virtual board over real board thing is awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm using a custom Sabaki theme for that. So yeah, I guess other things I should have considered is maybe this. But I was really feeling like after that I could just nose hit here. And they would be having some problems, right? Like this makes it easy for me to come out. And then cut these off. I love seeing the hesitation IRL right on. Yep, so this is the thing we just looked at. And I was already thinking about this, but I think I took some extra time just to make sure. Hesitation for like 15 seconds, right? Played my first live tournament a few weeks ago and love watching the opponent squirm. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Of course, they might be faking it though. So I got to tell you guys, I'm a little bit evil. Yeah, it's just a little bit evil, right? Um, so I played a couple warm-up games on different days with one Dons, and I intentionally played like trash and lost the warm-up games so they'd think I was weaker than I was, and it worked. It worked. I won both the games against those people. I mean, there's no way I could have known that I'd be paired with them, but just in case. Just in case. I'm amazed both of you keep playing this fast on such an important fight. They spent 15 minutes on a move occasionally. It was real. Yeah, yeah. I had a player that was like that. One of the two games I lost. One of the two games I lost, the player used almost all their main time. No, they got into Bioyomi. They did use all their main time, and there were a couple of moves they spent like 15, 20 moves on, or 20 minutes on. Yep, so this is what I read out. And I think opponent finally realized they couldn't block me in here without damaging their top side. So I believe they just back off here. No, they don't do that. They do something else. They do something else really weird. I can't remember what it is, though. Oh, they just push first. Okay. Such evil laughter, love it. I feel like there's a lesson there. Yeah, Phidias. Well, I only lost that game because I got impatient and stopped reading, so... That's the real lesson, is the game's not over till it's over. I kind of bombed the tournament, but I was happy I was the only one to beat my round one opponent. Oh, nice. Yep. So they just extended here, which I felt was a little bit slow, because this white group isn't really in danger. And the crux of the game was here, right? So I just, we played over here instead. Made sure I could connect. This is a bad move from me. I don't like this move from me. I think instead, white shouldn't... I wanted to try and kill this group, which is fair, right? But I think white should have Haned instead. Since I'm out, right? If they cut, I just have double Atari to get out. But I wanted to see if I could kill this group. And it seemed like I might be able to, right? This was just to be like, your stones are dead here. But it is kind of slow still, right? Does feel a little bit slow. Yeah, again, I probably should have Haned here. Or jumped. Jump would have been good too. So yeah. Yeah. Because strengthening this group becomes important later. It might be a little bit hindsight. They did respond here though, which I was like, what? Really? This too feels a little slow. I probably should have just Haned. Because it's hard for them to live here. Or, you know, they live in Gote, right? Yeah. Making the empty triangle was bad. As we all know. As we all know. Making the empty triangle is bad. For those of you just joining, I played the Burning Board tournament in North Carolina last week, and I won a trophy. And I also won some cash money. So here's my... Oh, here's my trophy. First place, Section A, Burning Board. Look at that. They can drink shots out of it, right? And this is round 1 that I played versus a Wondan. This is my first tournament as a shodan, and I was nervous to play Wondans. I was nervous to play Wondans. And I got... Oh, I placed 3rd overall, too, in the tournament. So, for my first tournament as a shodan, like, I can be pretty satisfied with that. Pretty satisfied. They've taken a long time here. And for good reason, right? And I think I bungled. So they played here, and I played here, but I'm wondering if I could have played here instead to kill. Because of this, you know? Because they can't play from that side, right? So where are they gonna play? Well, my phone alarm went off. I felt so bad. Where are they gonna play? They can't play here. How do they live? Maybe this one? But then I just cut, right? Yeah. Oh, I could have killed them, I think. I could have killed them. Oh no. Oh, what a blunder. Why didn't I play it? So my thought was, in playing here, that if they do this, then I can draw back. But that actually helps them to live. So I missed the vital point in the shape. Hold on. If they do this and we cut... No, that doesn't work. Oop. No. This. Oh, this doesn't work either, though. This doesn't quite work because of the extra liberty on the outside. Exactly. Because of this extra liberty is an issue, though. What if we just monkey jump it? And then extend? They do this. I don't know. You know, it just seems kind of alive, actually. But the way I started certainly didn't work. Because, yeah, they just ended up playing here. What's up, Lighthawk? We're just reviewing our games. Oh, so just push here, and then they drop here, and then play the vital. Oh, duh. Duh, you're right. You're right, CQ. Oh my gosh, that's just the dead shape. Come on, kid. You right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now that you say it, it's so obvious. Oh, that could have just ended the game right then. That could have just ended the game right then. Yeah, and if I cut, they could have, like, Haned here, and then I don't have enough liberties, right? Oh, they could have still played the shape point. I see. No, but then when we push again... Oh, no, they still make an eye. Okay. Yeah, you're right. So the throw-in helped them to end in Sente, which kind of sucked for me. But it is what it is. I still feel like I reduced this area. So they end up with just, like, exactly 2 points from this. So I felt okay about that. No way, I am in Sente. How did I film this? With an overhead camera. Could be higher resolution, but still. Yeah, so I didn't do anything special with the lights or anything to make it look better. Just because I didn't want to bring all that stuff camping with me. So it's just a camera in the natural lighting. So yeah, the lighting could be better, which would make it less grainy and all that stuff. Whatever, whatever. And I filmed it on, well, I filmed it with this camera, um, which is just a video camera. It's not my really nice camera. And then just to make sure the board was straight and everything, I did some editing in post so that all the video matched each other so I could do the stream better. So yeah. Yep. There's certainly some grain. The camera was overhead. It was over us. I had a great time hanging out with you for a few hours before it all started. Yeah, Lighthawk, that was a fun time. Met with Lighthawk in North Carolina, in Raleigh, and we went out to Japanese food, and he was very generous and treated us to Japanese sushi. And we played a couple games afterwards. Very fun, very fun. Good to meet Lighthawk in person. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, so now that this all ended, right? So I ended in Sente and decided to surround them, right? And now they're trying to save themselves, and I could kind of tell they couldn't save themselves. So he trounced me in 2 different games. Yeah. But you said you hadn't been to Go Club in a while, so that that makes sense. You hadn't played in a while, so it was not a classic Daniel Lighthawk game. Oh, I see. So this attach, I don't know. I think they're just trying to make something work in here, and I figured out that they actually, if they pushed here, something happened later. Or if they would have started with the push, I think. But at this point, it doesn't really work. Yeah. I think they wanted me to play here. Which still doesn't really work. Huh. I guess I could have done that too. What do they do after this? This one? And then I just connect? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they were expecting with this attach. Oh, right. Because this stone isn't here, right? So if we do this, and then they do that, then I can't Atari. I have to drop down here without that stone there. What's up, bouncing across? How you doing? How is P number 9? P9 is not locally alive. Not locally alive. Knowing Tommy was looking for Aji. Ah, that makes sense. P9, not locally alive. The black should really do something like this. Now. But they don't. They save their 1 stone instead. At this point in the game, I have Sente again, right? I think so. Or no. It's black to play. Because I just played here. I just drew back to make sure everything was connected after they connected. Yeah. So they have Sente. And you guys, I gotta tell you, I almost threw this game. This move by black, I don't know. It's just annoying. More annoying than anything. It doesn't actually accomplish anything. In fact, it gets rid of their Aji. So. Maybe they were hoping I wouldn't respond. Basically, they removed their own co-threat there. That's a really cool overlay technique you are using. Thanks. I saw it on Baduk TV, like the Korean Baduk channel online on YouTube. They use this a lot, and I figured out a way to do it in OGS, and I like it. What's up, J Strategy? How you doing? We are just looking at my games from last week. S18 is so bad. I know it is. Okay, so they're just trying to do that. So this was pretty easy. J Strategy, thanks. So we're just gonna watch, I think the first 3 games from the tournament in real time today, and then we're gonna do this again tomorrow for the last 3 games. For those of you just joining me, I got first in Section A in this tournament. I got a little trophy and some prize money, and I got 3rd overall at Burning Board. So with a game record of 4-2. There's my little trophy there. Sorry, I'm bragging. I'm ridiculously proud. You have no idea. I'm ridiculously proud. First tournament as shodan, and I did better than I could have imagined I would. I even won against a 3-dan in an even game. Like, blew my mind, and I'm just so ridiculous. So I hope you don't mind. Like, I'm just like, I was like, whoa. But, you know, it's such huge validation. How are the time settings? 1 hour, 5x30. Such validation for all the hard work I've been doing over the last couple years, and taking lessons and studying Go books and playing games and doing Tumago. So yeah. What organization rates players in over the board Go? The American Go Association, or the AGA. Also, there is a European Go Federation that also rates European players. And there's various Go organizations around the world. So, of course, there's a Korean Baduk Association. There's the... what is the Japanese one? I can't remember. And, of course, China has a whole system. Like... Sounds like you had a great time. Congrats to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Nihon Kin, thank you. And the Kansai Kin. Thank you very much, Vidius. A little bragging is fine. All right, fair enough. Oh, yeah, I feel like this was a mistake by my opponent. This attach. I felt like they should have... I was expecting them to play here instead. Because then I have to drop this way, right? And they connect here in Sente. But that's still not a really big deal for either player. The other one I was considering them doing is this one. Into this one. But again, that doesn't work anymore. So yeah, this attach didn't do much. You know, you just block is fine. I think they're just really trying hard to find something that works for them. You played 6 games with 1 hour main time? That seems super long. No, not in one day. 3 separate days. So 2 games a day. 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. So it was last Wednesday, last Thursday, last Friday, and last Saturday in North Carolina. And then there were lectures afterwards by a pro, and there was hangout time, and we enjoyed my significant other and I enjoyed like restaurant time in the evening, and we slept in little cabins in the woods. It was just really marvelous. We were right next to a lake, and there was like frog song all night of like three or four species of frogs, and of course crickets chirping. Yeah, really quite lovely. Really quite lovely. All right, let me see if I can show you the cabin that we stayed in. One second. Add an image. Let me show you the cabin we stayed in. There it is. Oh, let's make it a little smaller for the people. Oh. Let's make it much, much smaller for the people. I was not prepared for this. There it is. There's the cabin we stayed in. It was really lovely. All right, back to the game. Back to the game. Yeah, we had a couple big storms on was it Friday and Saturday night? No, it was Thursday and Friday night. We had some storms. So there was rain and camping, but the facilities were super nice. Like the bathrooms were nice, the showers were good, the cabins were fine, um, pretty peaceful. Looks like a forest monastery in Thailand. Like I brought my Zhao flute and played by the lake a couple days, and that was nice. Yeah, so my opponent finally extended here to try and make eye shape, but if, the wise viewer will know that this still isn't locally alive. But I didn't want them to get a push for free here. So they finally Hane, and this is where trouble starts. I played this move when I should have played this move. So this is my blunder. This is more of a solid connection in this area, which would have been a much stronger way to play here. But I played this thinking I would be connected just fine. So yeah. I don't know if I was worried about the wedge, but the wedge doesn't matter, right? Because we just connect right away either way. So yeah, this was this move very bad on my part. Very bad. I mean, it's not the worst. It looked okay, but it could have been worse. And this is another point where I just needed to be more careful. This is not the best move here. I think after this, I should have played here right away instead. I think that makes more sense. Yeah. So they played the vital point, which is right. And this caused all kinds of problems for me. Yeah, not getting that H8 Hane was kind of sad too. Kill P9, win the game. The end? Yeah, pretty much. Well, I was just expecting P9 and the center group to die. Naturally. And if you count this board like that, then I'm far ahead, right? So I was feeling pretty good about the game. But of course, black is still fighting like they should, right? So I think black should have just played here now. And this would have been really annoying for me. But I was reading out that I could actually drop down here. It's just, if they do something like this, am I actually alive locally, right? Which, I guess I am. Yeah, so in this case, I'm alive. Steely, thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate that. Yeah, like this, I'm probably alive. So this must be what they were reading out when they approached a different way. I was also looking at this cut here, but then I can just play here, right? So this would have been fine for me, which is why they didn't play that. I think they played this one instead. Ooh. Yeah. Yep, they sure did. And oh, I just drew back. I wonder, after this, maybe I should have just taken it this way? No, then they Atari this, so yeah, I think I had to play this way, but it felt pretty gross. I'm using Sabaki J strategy and a custom theme that I made myself. All right, so at this point, I was really worried about this. But they can't do this, right? Because then I can just cut. So at this point, this is fine for me. Yep, green screen board with green lines, and then because real boards are a little bit longer than they are wide, then I had to make some custom stone graphics. To squish the stones so that when they're stretched, they look round again. So yeah, opponent is definitely fishing for Aji here. This one was super annoying. And I feel like it took me a while I guess it didn't take me a while. I felt like I was reading it for a long time, but now that I see the video, I played that almost immediately, which is fascinating. Yeah, that's fascinating. That's surprising, actually. Huh. In my mind, like, I was thinking through variation after variation and taking forever. So they played here, and I think I read this out for a while and figured out that I could just play there. Yeah. Now that I see it on the video, I didn't take that long to figure that out. Huh. There's such a weird, like, when you're playing, or at least when I'm playing, my perception of time is so different than normal. Huh. That's just very interesting. So now I'm feeling like this area is pretty much settled. Yeah, I was thinking forever, Lighthawk. It was 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Now I can't remember where Black played next. I think they moved to this area. And it was something like the oop. No. I can't remember what they did next. Time slows down for me. It must have. It must have. Black making you stronger on the outside with a stick with no eyes right next to it. Exactly. Juco, man, you nailed how I was feeling at the time. You nailed how I was feeling. I was getting really confident at this point in the game. Maybe too confident. Oh yeah, they did cut. Yep. So I have to play here, and if I remember... Oh, they played this way, right? And then I protected my cut this way, yeah. I think that's what happens. I think there is a ghost story about two Chinese fellows who started a game of Go in the forest while working wood there as a break, and then they stopped playing. The axe handle was supposed to be rotten. Oh yeah, it's the original Rip Van Winkle story. Are you setting up and then Daniel self-ataried? No, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. I almost threw this game a couple times. I almost threw this game a couple times. So yeah, this, just block should be fine. Basically, I'm just responding to all of Black's Sente right now. That's what the game is for the next, 10 or 15 moves. And I was kind of feeling like, after this, maybe they're alive. Like, if they take the time. But what happens when we Hane, right? Oh, no. That doesn't work. I mean, what happens when we play here? And then Hane, huh? Still doesn't work. Yeah, they could live if they played this way. Hey, Axolotl! Is Burning Board somehow related to Burning Man? They'd like to think it is, but there were far too few drugs there to be related to Burning Man, in my opinion. Basically, it was just a Go tournament and camping. So we camped for a few days and played 2 games of Go every day, and there were Go lectures afterwards. How I described it before I went is it's like Go Congress for people who don't roll around in piles of cash, and I stick to that. I stick to that. So I was pretty proud of this connection, actually, because it solved a lot of the Aji around here. It connected all my stones together and responded to their peep. So I think Black was just expecting me to play solid without this, and they wanted to cut here. So yeah, I found a way to remove a bunch of Aji in response to their peep. So I felt proud about that move. Some of you strong players out there is like, yeah, that's obvious, but I actually took the time to think out, what is the best way to connect. But yeah, actually, one of the attendees wrote a children's book about Burning Man. Burning Man is the world's playground or something like that. So that was interesting. We looked through his book, and I was like, yeah, Burning Man's really for children. And he was like, well, I think it is. And there's something for everyone, and there's community and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. How fun. How fun. But to be fair, the last stories I've ever heard of from Burning Man are from 15 years ago, and it was all about the sex and the drugs and the rock and roll, and so I heard wild stories about Burning Man, just wild. Don't know if they were true, but they made an impression on me. The stories did. But his picture book was really lovely. It really was a lovely little book. J Strategy says, as someone who plays exclusively online, it strikes me that it takes so long to place stones. Ah. Yeah, you can't just clickety clack, right? Last I heard, Burning Man had gone corporate. That must be what the thing is. You play online with 1 hour of main time? Wow. Yeah, I needed to read this whole thing out better. Because after this cut, what happens, right? So I read this far and I was like, I'll be fine. And then they played this and I was like, oh no. you know? And then I made a key mistake, like here. We'll see it together. We'll watch it together. We'll watch it together. So I had to play this, right? To make sure they don't form two eyes here, if I wanted the kill. If I wanted the kill, had to play there. Now they're gonna push, and this is where we make some mistakes. The biggest upside of playing live is rustling through the stones in your bowl. Such a good feeling. It is. I like the sound of a good clack, too. Especially when your opponent like acts like they're kind of uncertain. If you just go like you're mad, just real loud. Bam, like so confident, right? It's like Hikaru no Go. Like that kind of thing. It feels good. Feels really good. Yoda Norimoto style, yeah. So yep, after this, I was like, oh, I'm good after this. This is as far as I really read. I should have read farther though. Should have. Should have. And I should have been counting these liberties too, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 liberties. This has 8 liberties. So I need more than 8 liberties, right? Very important here. Okay, so this is pretty reasonable. So far, so good. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liberties. And then I make a mistake. I play this fancy move, which is terrible. This, because it gives black a bunch of forcing moves to limit my liberties. So this is my big mistake here. It should have just been a bamboo. We should have just bambooed there. There's no way to lose this liberty race. Well, my friend, you're watching it happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 liberties, but some of those are shared, and I don't have an eye. And I don't have an eye. But I thought I could just connect over here. I didn't even read it that hard. So really my mistake is I just didn't read it carefully. And black did some things that I didn't expect. Like this one. Now that I see this, I should just do... No, that doesn't really work. So there's an issue here where black shape is good enough that I can't set up Mii captures. But this tiger's mouth was really bad. Because I was expecting something like this. But after I do this, like, I can't actually capture this, right? Yeah. Yeah. So then I was reading, like, if they do this, we can capture this one stone, but that doesn't actually help the liberties here. So I just really blundered this area. Really blundered this. Almost through this game. All because I played this fancy connection over here instead of just a straight up bamboo. Sad stories. Sad stories from the Goban. Haunted stories from the Goban. Woo! And this opens up all kinds of Aji over here now, too. Which, fortunately, I didn't get punished for too hard. Yeah, and I'm playing fast. Yeah, if you had bambooed, I don't think it would have been an issue. I agree with you. I agree with you. In fact, my opponent said the same thing. My opponent said the same thing. So now I'm trying to form an eye, but the eye doesn't actually help me make liberties. Because I form the eye, right? And then, I have 2 liberties left. Not helpful at all. Not helpful at all. So I'm not sure why I did it. Because this actually gives Sente, Black can just play here now. And, kill everything. Black should play here now and kill everything. It's bad. It's real bad. But they played here. Lucky. Collect a list of time pros make a major mistake and call it Haunted Stories from the Goban. That's a great idea, J Strategy. Lucky for me, I got to play here first and save my left-hand side, or that would have been GG. That would have been GG, 100%. So I'm trying to make sure there's no more Aji up here as kind of my next thing to do. But the sad part is I fail at this, right? There's still Aji up here. Yeah, Tom is a fighter and he succeeded here. Saving this group. This group, though, not so successful. The P9 group, or the R9 group, is just dead. It's just straight up dead now. And we talked about it afterwards, and there was really no way for them to make it alive. Maybe T13 now might work, but it's tough. It's tough cookies. So let's see. If we do a rough count now, Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 pairs. And White has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39 pairs, plus 7.5 Komi. So I was still feeling like I was pretty far ahead at this point in the game. So even though I lost in the middle, it was still a game, and I was quite far ahead in it. Yeah, they trying to live, but they just can't now. I didn't know what this was. As Lighthawk says, they're just hunting for Aji, apparently. But I almost threw the game a second time. We're gonna see this coming up. We're gonna see this coming up. Tom is like me. He goes to counting. He doesn't like giving up. He takes Frank to counting all the time. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm not that far ahead in this game though, and he did manage to um come back a bit. So he's probably feeling like maybe something else will work, which honestly is reasonable. It's reasonable. I mean, I blundered here. It's likely I can blunder somewhere else, right? We all know I can blunder. This is a thing we all know. So yeah, he's trying stuff. He should. Absolutely. E3 into B3 and Sente and pretty big. Yes. Yeah, I should have taken that sequence almost right away. Almost right away. I never felt like I quite had time to though before they took B3 away. But yeah, that completely wipes out that lower left, right? And so now a lot of things are going through my mind here about this push. Kind of take thing. And then they like play here and I turn, etc. A lot of things are going on, like this looks kind of sus. For me. A little bit scary bears. But they just wanted to seal off their upper left corner in Sente, apparently. And didn't explore more of that Aji. Or maybe Black would start here first. Because that is Sente for this. And then they can block here, right? But they don't have a lot of liberties with this group. So I didn't have to worry too much about that. Yeah, so they finally took B3. And I have a couple extra liberties out here for now. I think they were expecting me just to Hane here. Which, you know, on the look back, it's kind of reasonable. Because I can actually Tanuki this position. So I should have read out that I kind of get Sente here. Instead of the Gote that the other direction has. Yeah. So this is more Gote for me. And then they can play away. So I think taking Sente here was more important. But I read that it would be fine if I N2'd, and I knew they wouldn't expect it. So I played that way. When really, taking Sente to go to the upper left and taking this away would have been great, right? That would have been great. Totally reduce this area. They have to respond to me killing here because otherwise they might die in the upper left. That would have been better. Is there a no talking rule? I mean, what would you talk to your opponent about? I think that's just generally considered like good etiquette not to talk during your game. White should play P3 at 01, I think. Ah. Oh, just capture? Yeah, that'd be okay, I guess. This makes a nicer connection with R3, though. Tease them? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be frowned on a serious tournament, I think. And this is where I almost throw the game. Because guess what Daniel does? He plays away. Owen sets up a jump? Ah, I see. I see what you mean. So yeah, right now... Oop. Right now, black can play this. And kill the entire group. Right now. Right now. Well, no. No, because this is still here. So a little bit later. Once black connects this, connecting here is actually Sente. Just watch for it later. Just watch. Watch me ignore that. Oh, Lord. Then I blundered this as well. Because now I don't have enough liberties here. So this is like, I have to take the stone. Otherwise they played here, you know, and I take, and then they play here. Oop. And I take, and then they play here. And I have to connect, and then it's GG, right? Then it's game over. So yeah, it's kind of ruined all of my plans here. Just had to take. And I'm kind of short on liberties in general down here. So I have to be really careful. Really careful. Yeah, I guess so. Setting up the monkey jump with O1 is fair. That makes sense. Splatty, you're right. The more I think about it, the more you're right. A5 and A4 were working? Aha. Oh. For black? Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah, I ended up playing G2. Oh, white A5. Okay. I see what you mean. I think. So G2 doesn't end up working because this ko would ultimately be bad for white. The ko at B2. So you're thinking like, here, let's just put it here. Like this, right? And then this for the ko. But this ko is bad for white. It's really bad. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. I chickened out and didn't play the ko. So what I did is I counted that I was ahead, and playing a ko that would end up being bad for me might lose the game. So it's not worth making that ko. In my opinion. Granted, I have some big ko threats like this. Or I have one really big ko threat, and I've got this big ko threat down here. But yeah. Ah. It is not a free ko. Because they take, and after they take, they can Atari this whole group. Or they could have. Yeah, after they take the coal, they can Atari the whole group. Because this isn't here, this is a black stone now. They can Atari and then kill the whole group. So that's an unnecessarily dangerous ko for white. Wrong tournament title. You should keep the boards and burn the clocks. We used both. I think they're ing clocks. We used ing stones and ing clocks for this tournament. But you know, Paragrill, they had real Biomi on these clocks. Oh, have we done it? No, we haven't done it yet. Yeah, so now Splatty, you're absolutely right. Now this is a much better result for black than white. Much better. Ing clocks are the worst clocks ever made for gameplay. They're not that great. That's true. I'm not sure why black backed off here instead of just Atari. It's kind of weird. Guess they were worried about the ko, but the ko doesn't really do much. Oh, and this was funny. I played this instantly, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And my hand was already off it, and he let me take it back. So that was nice of my opponent. Did not affect the game result, but yeah. Picnic ko for white. Okay, that's why. So yeah, ultimately didn't affect the game result, but yeah, that was. My brain was just like, let's play fast. Okay. Still a game, we're saying. I told him it was an exciting game. I didn't count ko threats, but that ko can't be good for black, even if black plays it as a step ko. Gotcha. Kind of sad that middle group died. You'd have won by 100 points. I know, Juko man. I'm helping him with his game recording. Go Lavier! Thanks so much for the follow. Why connect on C10? C10? You mean this one? C9? Cause otherwise I get Atari, right? I gotta take a liberty away? I gotta take a liberty away or else they Atari me. And then it's a sad ko for white, I should say. Here comes ko. I didn't want the ko. Picnic ko for black, then. So it was either that or A9. A9 would have been fine as well. Or no, it wouldn't have. The board is a bit messy. Yes, it is. It is. And, it doesn't have perfect lighting, all that stuff. This isn't a production studio. This is a campground cafeteria. So, oh, this is where. Oh my goodness. You guys. He plays here. I take. He plays here. This. He plays here and I'm dead. I'm dead right now. That's where I ignored and I played over here. And he didn't kill me. Look at this. Oh, I lucked out so hard there. I lucked out so hard. Oh my gosh. I almost threw a second time. Oh, wow. And now it works out, because I have a second eye here. I think maybe... I'm alive now. I'm alive now. So lucky. So lucky. Yeah, this connecting the stone was Sente. I'm white in this game. I'm white in this game. Paragirl. So this white group is dead, of course. Black is alive here. Because of this dead group, yeah. And black is alive here as well. And I almost blunder here too, I think. Or I do blunder the endgame here. After they connect here, I think I should just play here. That would be the easiest. But I played here instead, which is pretty bad. So they push, I block. They should throw in now. And then it's like this. I have to take. And then they get to weasel, you know, all the way in here. That still kind of happens no matter what. But yeah, this empty triangle, as we learned earlier, empty triangles are bad, y'all. Just in case you didn't know, empty triangles are bad. Don't play them. Don't let your friends play them. Don't let your mom see you play them. They're just bad. God doesn't like empty triangles. And then, yeah, the rest is just endgame, since everything's alive now. And I'm a little bit ahead with Komi. I'm about 15, I think it was 15 and a half points ahead. But we can watch the rest of the game. Why not? I think I should have just blocked R4 instead of Q1. This felt like a Fox game. Well, you may be surprised to hear this, Juco man, but all of my games felt like Fox games. I wonder why that is. Little bit is not 15 points. Okay, yeah, so I'm 15 points ahead. Yeah, my teacher told me 15 points is a lot, so... You're right, Paroxysm. You're right. 15 points is a lot. But, you know, it's not 100 points. Which is really a lot. Just connect. Daniel's used to either winning by 50 or losing by 50. Exactly. At least 50, yeah. Good game anyway. Yeah, it is a really good game. Let's see. Is there anything else interesting that happens here? I don't think so. What do you think? Should we skip the end game? The end of the end game? What do y'all think? Like, the board doesn't really change after this. We just end up filling all the dame for AGA rules. I guess there's just a little bit of endgame left. I vote skip. Everybody votes skip. Alright. Sounds good. Alright, let's